Hey everyone, I thought I'd show you this little post-it gadget that I've been using lately to help me control my passes. It's quite small, as you can see, and that's a deliberate choice, and I'll explain why it needs to be small in a bit. Before I explain what this is and how it works, just a very quick explanation about working in passes, if you're not familiar with that approach, which is one of the key concepts in workflow. So the idea is to work in small and hyper-focused steps. Every step is called a pass, and after every pass, you stop working. That's very important, and you evaluate. And you give yourself a few specific instructions to do in the next pass. And this simple idea does a lot of good things, which I'm not going to go into right now. But it also turns out that counterintuitively, smaller steps actually get you to the finish line faster. This is a quick capture of a frame from the film Moana. So from here, when I stopped and evaluated my sketch, I noticed that in the original image, the pupils are sort of looking to different directions, which made him look more crazy to me. So I wanted to do that. I also wanted to accentuate the crooked teeth because it makes him feel more evil somehow. Because everybody knows that, if you have crooked teeth, that means you're evil, right? And finally, I wanted to add the gold stuff in his teeth and chin just because it's a fun character detail. So that's the plan for the pass. So let's see how the post-it gadget works for something like this. First, there's this section which says blocking, shaping, refining. I use this to remind myself where I am in the process. Blocking is when you're just placing the main chunks of the work, like the skeleton or the main structure of it. Shaping is when you add and subtract and push things around to give it the shape you want. And then refining is when you add details and texture. And in this case, the shape is already there, so I'm just adding a few accents. So I'm definitely in refine mode here. So checking that just helps me be mindful that I probably shouldn't be changing anything in the overall shape at this stage. If you want to know more about blocking, shaping, refining, just let me know and I'll do a separate video on that. Also, if you have access to the book, you'll find a discussion about blocking, shaping, and refining in chapter 21. So next we have time. And I like giving myself a time challenge for each pass. In this example, I gave myself 20 minutes to do the changes. By the way, it didn't work out exactly like that, took a little bit longer. Doesn't matter so much because it's more about the game of it, the challenge of it, just giving yourself a challenge and trying to win it. And also the time pressure just keeps my brain from wandering away or suddenly going off on a tangent. It's helpful that way. Next is the area of focus. I don't always use that one, but generally, if you can give yourself, the pass a specific overall purpose, I find that it really helps to focus the effort. And then finally, there's the main area, of course, in which I write the specific notes for the pass. It's hard to see here, I think, because the print is very small, but it says a few simple improvements to advance my work as a whole towards my creative vision. So once again, this is about focus. It's about reminding myself to focus on what I want to improve, not about everything that could be fixed, right? Only on the few things that I want to fix, because in this pass, because having everything would be overwhelming. And that's also the reason I made it small. Like I said, I would talk about that, because if you have a huge list, well, that's where I start to procrastinate, because it just feels difficult, and you get anxious and your brain just wants to escape to something easier. Whereas you have a short list because it's that small, and then I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just do that, no problem. And I usually get excited to do those things. It feels exciting and interesting to do that. And also remember, we're looking to speed things up by taking smaller steps. So for me, the whole purpose of this is to create the state of hyper-focus by narrowing down my attention to just a few specific improvements in a specific area done in a specific amount of time, right? That's how it's helpful. If you want to try it out, first of all, I'm giving these notepads away in my workflow events. Next one is in Vancouver, January 16th, and I'll put a link to my events page in the description. If you can't make it to an event, well, you can always use what I showed you to prepare your own. And to be fair, you don't need a form like this to work in passes effectively. I just find it helpful because the format forces me somehow to be super clear on what I'm doing and why, and to have a very deliberate workflow. I hope that made sense to you. If you like this video and would like me to do more, please subscribe, because that's how I know it's helpful to people. You can also let me know in the comments, and if you have a workflow question, then also write in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Thank you.